Hello, everybody. What's going on? Thanks for showing up. Denny had a class. He's either teaching or was
Hello,
at before
everybody.
this.
What's going on?
Did that again. So he said he might be a little late, but I'm glad you showed up. Let's see who's in the house here. All right. We got Ace Catfishing, Avid Fishing, Lyle, Catfish Weekly, Dave Hepp, there's a name. I'm sorry, it doesn't look familiar. Finn Secret TV, what's going on, Finn? D, how are you, dear? Always happy to see you here. John Patrick III, Kevin Baker, Matthew Baker, Michael Morello, what's up, my friend? Mike Irving, Palmetto Cats, what's up, Kevin? Stan, you were a pleasure to have on last week. If you guys haven't seen it, which I think y'all have, but if you're coming later, watching this video later, check out the first Nightlines Live with Stan on there. He did a fantastic job. Terry Lane, hello. Tim Molina, how are you? Let's see. Avid. Betty Jean, what's up? How are you? Nice seeing you. Wait, hold on a second. And I just got a message from Denny. He says he's about 5 minutes out. I told him no problem. I think we can figure it out by then. Hello, Mr. Mardigral. How are you, my friend? Good to see you here. I'm trying to keep up with everybody in here. Finn, D, Dockery, what's up? Jonathan, hey, buddy, how are you? That video is going to come out this week, I swear, I hope. Josh is in the house. Kevin Baker, Matthew Baker, LG Bass, what's up, buddy? Mike Toby, how are you? I think I got everybody. Rex, trying to give everybody a shout out here. Hopefully we got everybody. All right, so I hope everybody had a good week since we last talked. I figured if we were here a little early, you guys might have some questions for me. Mark, Jesus, what's that have to do? Hi, Betty. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Buckeye Catfishing, what's going on? Is everybody ready for, or whoever's going next week to Avid's meet and greet? I know I'm ready. Hold on, I got a message from Denny. I just replied to him. He says he's about 3 minutes out, which is fine. Let's see what happened this week in catfishing. Let's see. Monday night we had Catfish Weekly. Awesome seminar. If you haven't checked it, check it out. Tuesday we had that was Muskrat. Roger. He had a good show on there. Wednesday we had James Smith. Thursday, of course, we had the bait shop with James and Chad. Is Chad here? Chad, are you in here? If he is, what's up? And today is little old me. I had my other dog here. I was going to introduce you to him. You guys haven't had a chance to meet Woodrow yet, but my wife thought I should introduce you to him, maybe kill some time. That's probably why she's the smart one. You guys have any questions for me? What's new with you guys? Oh, Jonathan, I'm going to post the video of you and your brother when we went out and caught a bunch of catfish and crappie. I had a great time. Hey, Fish Snatcher, how are you? Hey, Sean, what's going on? Sean's in the house. Yeah, we call him Woody for short. Woodrow when he's in trouble. Yeah, Combat Carl did. I hear he had a live feed of almost 700 people, caused all sorts of catfish drama on Facebook, but we're not going to get into that. Those who know. It's always good to see Carl on the live feed. That guy's a fishing machine. He's like unstoppable. He is always out there, and he's always on a lot of big fish. No, Jonathan, I did not post the video yet. I still got to edit it. Let's see what else is going on. Hey, PD, how are you, man? What's going on? PD's in the house. Thanks for posting links, Stan. It was. I need to go back and watch it. I've had a busy week, but what I caught of it was great. Oh, another thing that happened this week, I want to thank everybody that bid on the limited edition Catfish and Crappie hat. We raised over $152 for James Smith's Reese Foundation. I was at a loss for words. I was hoping to get a fraction of that. We had some big bidders. The winners were D was the winner. D and Chad, thank you very much. And I did get lots of messages of people that were at work that were willing to bid more. So maybe we can figure out how to get this done. I've been talking with a couple of other people, and they had some ideas, which was great. It was good to see everybody give until it hurts. So it was a good cause. Hey, Mike Sampson, how are you? Thank you, Tony. Oh, you got that. Yeah, I did check the tracking numbers. I saw that they were out for delivery. I'm glad that you got them. I hope you enjoy them. And who's ever out there sharing links, I appreciate it. I think Denny's going to be here pretty shortly. So, hey, how do I sound, guys? I got a new mic, new audio setup. I was doing some tweaking with it today. Wasn't able to get it where I like it, but I think it came out all right. If you guys could let me know if you hear me good, if it sounds better than it did last week, or if it still sounds like I was in a train bathroom, a train restroom. That's what it sounded like to me. We'll see what we get. Anybody else having problems with the live stream blinking in and out? Matthew says he's having problems. Looks like Denny's here. All right. Hello, Mr. Ransom. How are you, my friend? You didn't need to rush. I was trying to hold them off. They're all chomping at the bit to see you, my friend.
You know how like on the talk shows where like the big star is like, oh, he's on the way from the airport now, right? I thought I'd try and fake a big entrance like that. So
that's all right. Well, I hate to break it to you, but this is no big deal talk show. This is just me and a bunch of guys that like to hang out, and we all wanted to talk to you. So I'm very grateful and very happy to finally get to talk to you, whether it's via camera or whatever. I've been a fan for a long time under a different username before I started my channel. So back when it was Tactical Kayaking, right? Was that what the old name was, or am I getting it wrong?
Tactical Kayak Angler. Tactical
Kayak Angler. My buddy Alex Serafin, who's a really big flathead fisherman with me. We started watching your videos back when we were just fishing for channel cats and stuff, trying to figure it all out, and we really appreciate what you do. So I'm going to sound like a total fanboy today, my friend. So you're going to get this a crappy interview out of me. So I guess maybe we could just talk a little bit. That was kind of the plan.
That works. I like it. I love it.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Thank you.
Yeah. Been fishing lately?
Yeah, actually, I'm on. I've had kind of a break here. Last week, it's been a couple weeks. I was I don't even remember. I had something planned one weekend, and then last weekend. I've been going so hard that last weekend finally I was like, I need to stay home and just do some home stuff. So I mean, this week has been here. The weather's been terrible. We had on Tuesday we had like a 25-degree temperature drop, and it started raining, and it's been that way ever since. So
you're in Iowa, right?
Yeah.
What part of Iowa? I don't need an exact location, but
central Iowa. I'm right outside the Des Moines metro area.
Okay. Yeah, I'm out northeastern Illinois. I'm outside of Chicago. I'm out by where Jonathan lives and stuff. We fish
Oh,
this.
okay, right on. So you guys are getting probably some of this crap too, right?
Just starting to come in, but you know what? We're kind of welcoming it. We've been so dry that the fox has been so
Yeah,
low. So, I
same.
mean, I wasn't getting enough current to fill a drift sock the
Yeah,
last time I was out.
yeah.
It was
We need the rain. We need more than we're getting, to be
Mhm.
honest. But I mean, so it's nice. I would have been happier if we would without the 25-degree temperature drop.
Drop. Yeah, that's, I went from having my air conditioning on what was it on Saturday? I turned it off to yesterday coming in, and my wife had turned on the heat. I'm like, you got to be kidding me!
Yep.
It's like no rest for the wicked.
Yep. That's yesterday. I was like, if it drops one more degree, I'm turning the heat on. I'm going to do it. And I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Me and the wife are always battling. I like it cold in the summer, and she likes it hot in the winter. So it's always a back and forth, but it's good. We'll see what happens with the fishing. I kind of this time of year, right after Labor Day, I usually head north and go after the kings from shore. But with all the unrest and stuff, I fish, like Kenosha and Racine, and I go through some neighborhoods. So I kind of thought maybe I'll switch it up to some crappie and see if I can get some late time flatheads in. So.
There you go.
But I figure we got another maybe 2 weeks. When's the season die off where you're at?
Man, we got later. We got a while yet. I mean, we'll have. It depends. I mean, it seems like honestly, the last couple of years, it's stayed warm into November, and we're still catching them. Close to the winter holes in November. So
I could be mistaken too, because I just got I had my kayak. I had a Jackson big rig. I used that for a while, but because of work and stuff, I just and the work schedule between me and that young man Alex, he had bought one as well. It just didn't work out, so we couldn't do the pickup and drop off.
Yeah,
so it kind of fell to the wayside. But I used to love doing that. A couple of the local spots that I would fish would be like the smaller lakes and stuff, but there's no flatheads in there, so I wasn't able to use it as much as possible. But I just purchased like a boat last year, so I haven't. And then, like I said, usually this time of year I'm chasing kings, so I haven't really been able to try. So maybe we'll try it out a little better. Any of the bank spots that I fish at, they're always low this time of year. They're closer to pre-spawn and right after post-spawn that they kind of die off. So
yeah. Seems like my game plan kind of changes around. So like in fact I've been targeting. My focus has been blue cats here, and I'll probably I'll usually right around now. I start to target flathead again for a little bit until it gets too cold, and then I'll go and try and get on some more blues until it's just too cold to fish. So
I had actually next weekend the guy who I'm avid fisherman. Everybody, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, this is usually his night. He had some stuff going on at work, so he had to work for like 8 Fridays in a row. Somebody took a bunch of vacation days, so I'm kind of just stepping in for him. But I'm getting a lot of experience doing it, and I'm very grateful for it. I get to talk to people like yourself, which makes me happy to do so. We're going down to the Caskia River where it meets the Mississippi next weekend. We're going to meet with a bunch of people, and I'm going to go after my first blue. I have yet to catch a blue because we don't have them up here.
Right.
The couple of times I've been out to Powerton, the Power Lakes out here,
Yep.
I went out there twice. It's like a 2-mile walk. I got skunked both times in like 20 below zero weather. So that was. So we'll see how we can change it up.
I wish they let kayaks on that. I'd love to kayak fish that place. That'd be perfect.
The current is just crazy where the discharge is over there. I'm using 10-ounce lead, and it's still pushing it all over the place.
Really?
Like it's nothing. Yeah.
Did not know that.
I spoke to Jonathan, and he wants over at Hooked, and he wants to drag me out to Springfield hopefully sometime this winter. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm wanting to make a run out there myself. I was hoping that by this time. I know my understanding. I've only been there once. We were there over a weekend, and we were fishing. Spencer and I were fishing with Jonathan. My understanding is that it seems like it's a little better after it gets colder there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hoping to at least get there once already this year, and I haven't. So I'm definitely going to get up there at some point. So
I'm hoping to get out there and get a blue and a hybrid the same day. Kind of get that quinilla going. I set myself silly goals like that. I do that all the time. So we'll see if I get out there.
It's a good day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if it doesn't, it gives you reason to go back. So I kind of treat things like that. Cool. So I was watching some of your later videos. I noticed you were out there at night fishing in a kayak.
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to do that. I do a lot of night fishing in my boat and stuff. But in a kayak, as close as you go to like those log jams, just the coyotes and the raccoons out here, man. That's something that would be quite the adventure. What's that all like?
So it's funny. So first off, way back in my previous life as a DJ, I was a night guy. Right. And since then, I've turned it around and I'm an early morning guy now. So night fishing is, my body doesn't like it. Right. My work schedule doesn't like it. It doesn't, the logistics of it really don't mesh well with my life. And I was never really a big fan of night fishing. And then I did it a few times out of the kayak and I was like, it's kind of fun,
Boat traffic out there.
It's and even like on the small rivers, especially, I don't worry about boats. And if there's any moonlight at all, I'll usually not even turn the headlamp is almost worse because you get night blinded by it. Yeah. So I just like paddling in the moonlight. I don't know.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like a good time.
I like it. And I don't usually, so I am really mindful about what I'm doing and where I'm going. So like when you see me night fishing, I'm not doing some giant stretch. I've got a few spots where I can put in and I can paddle or float to a spot and then come back to the launch. And I'm usually never more than a mile from a ramp if I'm fishing at night. And I mean, unless I'm fishing with somebody else and we're camping, which is, that's a different deal. But if it's just me by myself, I'm not.
I get that totally. Even when I'm out in a boat, my wife has me send pins to her every couple of hours. She wants to know where I'm at. Usually, if I'm out for like 8 to 10 hours. I try to grind it out and see what I can do. So she gets a little nervous when I'm out there at night, or if she wakes up in the middle of the night. I've been notorious for doing that. If I can't sleep, I'll hook the boat up and go.
Oh, it's fish 30, right?
Pretty much. I've done that too, because I work for myself, and I'll be like doing these marathon work sessions, and your mind gets going. And it's no way I'm going to sleep. But you're absolutely right about the night fishing messing up your whole schedule, especially with families. So,
what I usually try and do more often than not when I'm night fishing, I don't do. I don't do long sessions, right? I go out and I would be like, okay, I want to get on the water so that I'm on the water at where I want to fish by like 7:30, and then I'll fish the evening transition till after, till like it's dark. So it's summertime, maybe 11, and then this time of year 10, So I'll fish the transition once it's dark. It's got about another half hour, and then I'm out. And it either worked or it didn't. I figure I just fished that window multiple times instead of going out and trying to fish till 5 in the morning. And that takes me too long to recuperate from.
Yeah, you know what? I fall into that trap where I'm out there. I'm out here. You know what I mean? Might as well keep fishing. I talk myself into it, and the next day I'm always sorry I do.
It can be hard to leave.
Oh yeah,
because that's what we are. We're like hope junkies.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man,
you're not kidding.
5 more minutes. Just
Perfect.
5 more minutes.
That one more caster. I got 4 shad left.
Yeah.
Let's put them to work.
Yeah.
That's what I always say to myself. I caught this bait. I might as well use it as long as it takes.
Yep.
So you know what? A couple of questions that came to mind. Night fishing in a kayak. All right. I know during the day, I just started daytime flathead fishing maybe last year, a little bit the year before last. Last year, because my work schedule allowed for it, I had a great year last year during the day. I caught my PBs last year
Wait.
during the day. I pretty much in my little boat, I'll do the same kind of tactics you do, get right up in whatever wood I can find, any structure, whatever. But at night, the tactics change, obviously. If you're, and I'm sure you know this, I know that mine do, they're going to get out, they're moving, they're feeding, they're on the channel edges. How do you deal with that in a kayak? There's got to be different tactics to going about that.
Yeah. So what I will, I mean, if my starting point, like in my head, is okay, where's the heavy cover? Where's the hole with the heavy cover, right? And then I will, and I do this kind of even when I'm fishing in the heavy cover. But the first thing I do is I just look at the whole, the big picture. Okay, where are the current seams here? Where are the ledges here? Where is the shallow side that the sandbar is
they're going to come up on?
And then I'll sort of make an assessment, and then okay, where can I position? Where can I tie off at? To get to these spots. So like I might look at a spot and be like, well, they're going to come out of the hole. I'm going to set upstream of it. Right. And I'm going to usually, more often than not, I'm going to park myself a little up current, and I'm going to look and say, well, okay, does the cut bank side look better, or does the shallow side, the sandbar side, look better? And okay, well, where can I, one spot might look terrific, but I can't get in position there to
That's my question.
Present my bait. And if I can't present my bait in a way that I like to, I will give up the main spot. Like if the spot that I think is the best, if I can't get a bait in position the way I want there, or if I think if I get hooked up here, there's no way I'm going to get a fish out, then I'll take a secondary spot. If it's like I can position my bait exactly how I want it, and I've got a little open spot here, so I know that if I can just keep him in that open spot. So it depends, and I hate giving people that kind of answer, but
I'm married to an attorney. It depends comes around like once a day in this house, so I understand what you're saying. It's the part of like your positioning. Whether it's away. If you're in the cover, that's its own animal during the day, fishing through that. But you got places to tie off. You can see where the current's going to take you, where it's going to pin you, where it's not. Yep. At night, you're not seeing that stuff. I'm guessing, and I don't know, I'm no expert, that you're a little further away from said cover, or are you right on the cover at night?
Yeah, so it usually I try and stay upstream of the head of the hole.
Okay.
Right. Or if the hole is not very dense and compact, if it's sort of, so how you have some of those sweeping bends where you have like a big hole and it's littered with like a tree here and a tree there and a tree here and a tree there. I like those kind of spots at night.
I have dreams of places like that, not so much on the Fox, but keep going. I had to break in there because you made me I almost drooled all over my desk when I heard about that.
Well, yes, I mean, there's spots on the Des Moines like that where it's too much like that. You're like, you'll see a big sweep and all these trees. You're like, I have no idea where to go, target the fish. But I like those kind of spots after dark because I can just say, okay, where's the head of the hole start, and where can I tie off here, and I'll sit there. But I don't do a whole lot of moving around at night. I will. That's why I like to show up and assess what I think the best spot is going to be, and then I get tied off, and that's my spot. And there have been plenty of spots where I'll show up and I'll be like, I'm going to tie off on this tree, and I'll get to that tree and I'll get set up and I'll just be like, I don't like it. There's something about it I don't like it, and then I'll move and it's not uncommon for me to and it's funny too, shooting video, because I'll come home with all this video, like, I like this spot because of this, and then I'm like, no, this spot sucks. This is no good. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. There's something going on here I don't like. And so when I feel it, when I get someplace and I'm like, I like the way that there's the current seams or the ledges, I gotta fly. I feel like the fish are going to move in this direction or close, and I can put a bait where it's going to stay lively, and I'm going to be able to monitor it. And when like all the pieces come together, and I'm like, I'm happy here. This is where I'm staying. But I don't move around a lot after dark usually.
I get exactly what you're saying. It's great, and you get all that figured out. You get a bait out there, and 15, 20 minutes later, you got something. Because if they're there, right? If you go after it in that way, you spend so much time planning and looking and analyzing, and when it pays off, tell me that isn't the biggest kick in the world.
Yeah, that's what's actually funny too is that the night fishing this year, the video that I've almost got ready, the next one that's going out is like kind of like the first one where I got in position and I got bit before dark, right?
Yeah.
So I dropped the bait down and pretty soon here's the fish. And then I'm like, oh, well, I don't know.
It's incredible how that happens. That's one of the reasons why I like flatheads. I get skunked a lot, but when I hit it, it makes it all worth it. So
it's cool. And it's funny too that daytime fishing, especially, right? I mean, and this is people, people are welcome to have whatever opinion they want. My opinion is that, and there are factors to be sure, but if there's a fish that's in a positive feeding mood at all, 2 minutes.
Yep.
And that's it. You just got to drop a bait down. You drop and I think when you drop down a bait, a bluegill or whatever, and you just drop it down and it's panicking and freaking out with the weight pulling it down, and then it stops. That fish, any fish in that cover is like, I see it.
I see it.
And when it stops and it's freaking out, then if they're ready to move at all they're just going to position themselves and they're going to open their mouth and eat it.
I could be wrong here, but I have this theory or this way that I think that at night flatheads are out feeding. During the day they may not be, but they're still curious. If you can steer up enough action, you can get them to come out. If there's one 100 yards away, they'll come looking. Even if you're not on them, it takes a little more time, but I think if you can get their attention, get their spidey senses going, you can pull them out.
I feel like they tend to take up ambush positions in the daytime, but I also agree that I think you can annoy them too, right? Yeah. There's been more than one time where I've been hung up in cover and I'm just banging trying to get my stuff free, and then I get bit.
Absolutely. They're like, they don't like it. I use my gaff to get my hooks out all the time because I'll use, the Whisker Seeker floats a lot during the day. They're, I'm not in a kayak. I have a small boat, so I can get pretty close, but it makes sense for me to, be upriver and kind of just drift the weights in or from the outside, try to get them I'm pointing on or try to get them to come around, get the backwater and they'll get hung up. And more than a couple of times, I've used that gaff to get my hooks and get everything out just because I don't want to lose that $7 bobber, And then I'll drop it back in there and they'll hit it. I had one time when I was in a kayak, I set the rod down right on top of the kayak and almost pulled it right in, and there was like an 8-pound flathead on the end. I was like, that scared the bejesus out of me, but that's all part of it. That's one of the reasons I love going after them fish.
I was so get this, right? And I laugh about, and I do believe that at nighttime they're more, because they're away from cover and they're traveling, and a lot of times they're in really skinny water. If there's, if you got like a new moon or something, they're on the sandbar side. But so I think they're very wary. In the daytime, I don't think they're concerned as much. So there was one day I'm fishing this bend, right? And I part in the it's a nice hole, beautiful brush pile, and I'm sort of tucked in it, and I got a line out and I hear it. I hear people, right? And so I'm like, all right, so what's coming here? And here they come. They come around the bend, and it's a group of people. It's two couples. In one of them is in like an aluminum canoe, right? loud, clanging, and I'm watching them come around, and there's just like, backwash, and I'm watching them come around, and I'm just like, they don't know what they're doing. This is going to end bad. And sure enough, they get within like 10 feet of me, and they dump, right? And their stuff is everywhere, and they're and the woman is, she's having a fit, and just a complete and utter ruckus. And I mean, over the top of my hole that I'm fishing. Yeah,
I know exactly what's going on in your mind, but go ahead.
Right, and I'm just like, inside I'm like, oh Lord, and the woman, she's like, sorry, we're new, and I'm like, no kidding, right? but so they wash themselves to the bank, and they get out, and they get their stuff sorted, and they get their gear, and they put in, and they weren't gone 5 minutes, and I got bit, and it was a 20-pound fish.
Yeah.
It wasn't spooked. It didn't care. It hurt somebody. It hurt him leave.
Do you think they really don't? Do you think they really don't care? Do you think that's true? Like from a young age, when they're they're little juvenile 3-4 pounders, or do you think they just kind of gets bred out of them after a while?
Yeah, I think when they get bigger, they're the dominant fish. They're the apex predator, and they're not. What are they? They're not afraid of anything. Fish, a sound. They're not worried about muskrats or raccoons or anything. So I think I think they hear. I just think when they're close to cover or close to a hole in the daytime, and that's their lair, that I don't think they're bugging them easily.
Yeah. I talk to a lot. There's quite here in the Midwest. I'm sure it's the same where you're at. There's a lot of muskie fishermen out here, right? And they just, I don't know. They always ask me how come I don't fish for muskie, and I'm like, well, flathead are probably as hard to catch as muskie, but you got to put your back into it. And they kind of look at me, and they kind of get it after that. So I converted like 4 of them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. They're always wanting to go fishing with me, but
right.
I'll take them when I can. So yeah, I get that. I'm a firm believer they're the head predator. So I don't keep flathead at all anymore. I've kept one in my time just to know what it tastes like. My grandfather was a sustenance fisherman from Eastern Europe, so he fished to eat.
Yep.
But it was all channel cats and carp. I don't even think he's ever seen a flathead. But I always wonder what's in the bellies of those really big ones. I'd like to see that. If I run it through an MRI some way real quick, it's a muskie or a turtle or a snapping turtle in there. That'd be cool to see. I always wonder about that.
Like that scene from Jaws where they're pulling license plates and
stuff out of there. Exactly. Tell me it wouldn't be cool to know. And I know Spencer being a science teacher. Well, I know that he keeps them, but he doesn't keep them that big. Well, every now and then.
Yeah, right. He'll keep them. I'll keep one every once in a while, but yeah, not 15 pounds is probably top end for what I'll keep.
Here they're too. I don't care what anybody says. They're too sparse over here. 15 pounds would be too big. If I was somewhere else where I'm catching multiples in a night, a 2-fish night for me here is pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm no pro. I'm not hitting spots as hard as some of these younger guys. But I'm pretty happy when I get a 2-fish night. I don't care what size they are.
Same. And sometimes, I mean, there are weird nights where like just the magic happens and you might really get into them. But those nights are special. That's not, you never expect that, I mean, even Spencer and I, when we go out and we overnight somewhere, if we get a couple of fish, if we can pull in 3 total, no matter what size, over the course of the float, including an overnight, we feel like we had a pretty good trip.
It's a good trip.
We're not, and more often than not, we're just beating each other up and coming home and being like, well,
you guys do have some chemistry. One of my favorite videos is where you guys were dragging your kayaks through all that mud down that muddy trail or road, whatever that was. I could feel the misery. You guys did a real good job in portraying that, and I kind of watched for that stuff, and I was like, man, that I can feel the suck from here. Holy smokes. You know, I've been in a situation, but not that bad. So you had my sympathy with that one for sure.
Spencer and I are, yeah, I don't know. If I got a really terrible idea, he's usually up for it. And if he's got a really terrible idea, I'm usually up for it. We're like go to. Nobody else will do this with me, will you? Yeah.
I had friends like that back in the day. I still fish with a couple of guys. They're always down to fish for stuff, but you guys do some crazy stuff, and it makes for great YouTube, and it definitely keeps me company. And a lot of your videos have kept me a company during times I really needed it. I won't go into details, so I appreciate that.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to meet Spencer or talk to Spencer, but whenever I send him a message, he always replies. I hate bothering him. He's got everybody, that I've talked to lately, they're all busy people. So besides, I have fun figuring it out anyways myself. So good stuff. Why are you laughing? What's so funny?
What? No, just Spencer. I was gonna bust on him a bit, but I'll give him a break.
Feel free. I don't know if I don't think he's watching, but we can send him a link after it's done.
It's funny how I give him a hard time about putting up with his nonsense, because I mean there's a lot of Spencer nonsense, and we were last time we were out. I don't know. He did something. He put his camera on me and asked me some question, and I kind of busted his balls a little bit, and he got done recording. I'm like, you know what, Spencer? I think you might be right. I am a little bit mean to you sometimes. I'm sorry, buddy.
Did he get that on video or no?
No, he didn't get that on video.
Oh, okay.
And he's a teacher, right? I mean, he's a science teacher. So Spencer is sometimes extra careful about being on film and being on camera and not crossing any sort of lines that could be, because he's a teacher.
He's got to set an example for his kids and for anybody.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't have to do that. I like to just think that I'm kind of an upstanding dude,
Me too.
But I don't have to pull punches with Spencer if I don't want to, so.
Yep. So you got the advantage a little bit when it comes to that.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, one of the reasons.
I try not to cross too many lines, though. I mean,
Yeah, me too. And I don't know. Do you know Redbeard? He fishes with Jonathan a lot. He had made a comment on one of my videos that I swear like his 10-year-old. I go, that's me trying not to cuss, so it just comes out like I say silly words like holy Toledo and all that stuff I never say in real life, but for some reason they come out on freaking tape. I have no idea, but I understand what you're saying. I have to make a conscious effort. It's what I'm finding out is it's a lot harder than it looks.
What's that?
Making the videos, not just, at least for me, not just getting the stuff on film. It's watching what you're saying to what you're doing, try to include everything. And it takes away from your well, at least for me, all the time I'm fishing, I'm always trying to analyze stuff. I'm an analyst. I was a database analyst. I did analytical work for a long time. It's just from doing it.
Yeah.
And now I got to talk about what I'm thinking about. It's rough. It's hard for me to do, but I'm trying to grow. So
it's, I don't know. I had sort of when I very first started the videos, I had no, so when I was my oldest son was real into skateboarding, and I was the video dad. That was I went everywhere.
I remember you talking about that. Yep.
And I video recorded him, and that was fun. I kind of liked it. It was kind of creative. And way back in the day, I was a DJ, so I liked the sound stuff was cool. Mm-hmm. And then, when I started fishing, I ran across people on YouTube that for doing research. I'm like, oh, well, there's people who they're just filming themselves. Like, well, I can do that. That seems fun. So when it started, all I wanted to do was just make some like highlight videos, make little like music videos of like, I was, trying to tell people, dude, this is fun. Because when I started doing it, there weren't a lot of people doing it around here at all, kayak fishing in general here in the Midwest. And even though it was picking up, it was growing as a sport, nationwide, but there weren't a lot of people fishing for catfish, So I was just like, y'all need to get in on this because this is a good time, you know? And then people started hitting me up with, well, you know, do a how-to. How do you do this? How are you doing that? How are you fishing by these log jams and stuff, you know? And I never was like, saw myself as some sort of authority like that. I'm in no position to tell people how to fish. I just go do what I do, you know? So it turned into sort of reluctantly doing a few, and then I liked the editing, and you know, and then I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to really do it. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna learn all the rules, and I want to, you know, I'm going to try and shoot videos that tell the stories. And
Yep.
what happened was, I mean, there were some videos that I've made that I really, really like. I really feel, you know, like they tell a good story, and you get the full experience. And I see the video, I'm like, I feel good about what I put out. But trying to do that on a production schedule is really difficult. And you know, and I said at one point, I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and put out one video a week. And I made it for a year, and I went, I can't do it. It's not fun. I'm giving up other parts of my life that make me feel like a well-rounded human being. And I just, you know, so I backed off. I took kind of a hiatus. I had a bunch of life stuff happen last year, so there were periods, long periods without fishing last year. So this year, I'm back on the water, and right now I'm shooting for a video every 2 weeks, but I'm not putting pressure on myself, and I'm dialing down. I'm streamlining things and dialing down like what I'm trying to accomplish with the videos, and so far it seems like it's working. You know, people like it, and it's, you know, I've got some good fish this year, which helps. Right?
Yeah, I saw those. There's some good ones. Very, 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 very good fish to be proud of. So you're a hell of a job this year. I was watching a bunch of your videos in the past couple of weeks. I always had fun. You know, actually, I was thinking about who to have on, and I'm watching your video, and I'm like, well, I can try Denny. I don't know if he'll come on, but I'll give it a shot. I just sent you that, and hopefully I didn't pester you or bother you too much, but I appreciate you being here. I'm really happy. Like I said earlier, that I get a chance to talk to you. But I can relate with the videos and the life getting away. I kind of got into the trying, and I just started out. People have been telling me, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. You're always fishing, whatever. And they're always asking me how to do this, how to do that. And I always be willing to help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not one that's looking for the, I don't know. I was told by some people that I trust in my life that I need to go out and try to showcase what I know, if not for myself, you know, to leave something behind. We're not fortunate enough to have kids. So they made an argument, and I kind of got put into it, and I'm glad they did. I have some family members who are really talented musicians. A couple of them my cousin's an opera singer. I have some buddies that have always been in like bands, and DJ friends. I know you were a DJ,
Right.
and they were always picking on me and making fun of me, saying that I don't have a creative bone in my body, trying to get me to do something. And I would just dig in, and finally they broke me, I guess. I don't know. But I'm having a blast doing it. I'm meeting a lot of people, if not just the fishing opportunities that it's opening for me.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful.
Yeah, no, same, you know, and that's what I like about like this whole part, you know, is exactly that. I've got to meet some cool people. It's got me hooked up with, you know, with some sponsors that I would never have had because I never even cared about that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that has gotten me some connections that, you know, it allowed me to go on some cool trips to cool places, to meet cool people. And, you know, I get people that I don't know that randomly message me, you know, and they'll show me a picture of a fish, and they're like, dude, thank you. You know, I've been watching your videos, and I went out and I caught this fish, and I am so stoked. And I mean, that's cool. You know, that makes me feel good. That makes it worthwhile. You know,
I totally do that. I totally get that, and I'm sure everybody that's here in the chat, there's a lot of regulars that are here and stuff that have been to my shows and have watched me on there and go to Avids on Fridays, and I think we all share the same way. There's one gentleman, James Dockery, holler out to him. He pretty much takes kids and teaches kids how to fish,
That's cool.
like a job pretty much. He's got some sponsors that send him gear and stuff. He makes little baggies up, and everybody gives him a hard time, but I know Lyle's going to hate this. James is pretty cool for that, so
I like that. Get them away from the TVs.
Yeah, you had mentioned sponsors. You had mentioned sponsors and stuff. I know you're involved with with Fish Monkey gloves, right? Is that Fish Monkey?
Yeah.
And I know you have some involvement with Whisker Seekers. You'll have to forgive me. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't pay attention to this stuff, but I know that I see your involvement with Whisker Seekers and them a lot. So.
Yeah, Whisker Seeker. So that was the first company I got hooked up with, and it was totally by accident. I got some of their gear and immediately managed to catch a nice fish on it and put together a little video, and I just put it on their Facebook page. And Matt responded, and he was like, first off, love the video. I'm going to give you a credit so you can get some more gear. And I was like, sweet, and right, and he's like, why don't you give me a call when you got some time to talk? I'm like, okay. And basically they're in the area, right? He's like, I think at the time he had 6 people on the pro staff team. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I know the kayak thing is getting popular, and I've been toying with the idea of adding 1 or 2 kayak anglers. So I called up Spencer, and I'm like, dude, let's go talk to this guy, right? And it worked out sweet. Matt is a super, super good dude.
Very cool.
He doesn't have like brand ambassadors where there's like a whole bunch of people. I've got a team. These are my people. He takes really good care of us. It's a great company to be connected with. They're my number one. I
really like their stuff. Those Black Fridays,
sales. Their customer service, man. I mean, if you have a problem with something, Matt will make it right. Period.
Very cool. Yeah, I've experienced that myself. I've had to send some stuff back, which was pretty much at my fault, and they still replaced it. So there's definitely no complaints there. And like I was going to say, their Black Friday sales, man, I look forward to them every year. Every year, my wife's like, pick out your Christmas presents. We'll get it all set up, and we're good to go.
There's some new stuff coming out that looks really good too. But this,
can you tell us? Can you give us a preview of what's happening?
No.
Maybe we'll talk offline.
Well, I don't know. Some of it was supposed to be out already, but all the supply chains and everything with this COVID business, everything's all goobered up, and there was stuff that's supposed to have been out for this season. And I mean, Matt, he struggling to keep what he has in stock I mean, the stuff sells out as soon as he gets shipments in. So, and even me, I'm like, Jesus, Matt, I need some line. He's like, get on the mailing list.
Don't make me buy brand X now.
Right.
That's I kind of get it. I have in my business dealings, I have some involvement with some stuff that gets imported, and we've run into the same kind of issues. So when people started talking about Walmart's being empty and stuff, I kind of saw that happening. So.
Yeah. I'm also with I'm on the Wilderness Systems kayak fishing team, and dude, the kayak companies right now, they can't keep stock. I mean, to save their life, and like in the beginning of this thing, and like a lot of places, they shut down factories, and then immediately, like a month after that, people were all like wanting to buy kayaks because they couldn't go anywhere. Everybody wanted to buy outdoor stuff, and then they're like, start the production line,
get them going.
But they can't get the stuff, so it's I think.
Which Wilderness are you running now?
I've got an Attack 120.
The 120? Okay.
I love it. I love that kayak. I'm so happy with this kayak.
we'll see if I got. You know, here's a question I wanted to ask you. You ever see yourself in one of them big fancy catfish boats of your own?
Like with a motor?
Like with a motor and $10,000 worth of electronics and rod holders and rolling motors? You don't see that ever happening.
I really don't. It's just, I don't know, man. It's not. It's a funny thing. I grew up. So my uncle, you know, my people in my family, big anglers from the time I was little. And my uncle, you know, always had at least a boat. And, you know, I would go out and fishing with him and stuff. And the joke that I used to make about kayak fishing is that it ruined me for boat fishing because it's so much fun to catch fish out of the kayak, you know?
Yeah, so I get that too from a young age. When I actually made it just short of an Eagle Scout, and I kind of found my wicked ways. But we did tons of canoe trips back in the day up in northern Wisconsin. We did a lot of fishing. So, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. You know, I had interest in fishing from a boat, to be honest with you, until recently.
I see myself potentially just having a little John boat so I can take the grandkids out and, you know, at night or whatnot. But, you know, my plan is to already, you know, my plan is to get them kayaks. And, you know, I think kayaks are actually really good for kids, for family things with kids, because, you know, I've seen, especially pleasure boating, I've seen people, they take their kids, they get in the boat, they go out, and the kids
just sit there.
They're on their phone. They're not engaged. You know, they're doing this. I'm you know, and you put them in a kayak, and they've got a little freedom. They're active in what they're doing. They're more engaged in what they're doing, and I think that's good. You know, and
absolutely.
So that's, I mean, potentially a boat at some point, but I mean, I'm going to try and get the kids kayaking.
That makes perfect sense.
As long as this body can handle what I'm putting it through to get to load and unload, then I'll keep doing it.
You look like you're in pretty good shape these days too. I was kind of checking you out. You look pretty svelte in your video where you were bragging. Do you have the belt with you? I was going to ask you if you wanted to wear that on the interview.
They're right there.
Oh, it's up there at the top. So tell us a little bit about that belt. Give us the down low on what it is and how you won it and who you stole it from and who didn't get it, all that good stuff.
Okay, so that was what, like 3 years ago, I think. Justin from Kayak Catfish. Before Justin was anybody, right? Back before, when he was still just nobody, and we were all.
I used to watch him back then too. I was a fan back then too.
Yeah, right. No, I did too. I met Justin. I met Justin on a forum, right? And I saw a picture that he'd posted, and it looked like he was anchored in current. And I messaged him like, dude, how are you doing that? What's going on there? I'm like, because spill the beans, you know, because that's sort of the grail with kayaks. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, it was really windy that day. That's not current. He's like, our current is like a half a mile an hour tops. I'm like, okay. And now I get it. So, but he was really cool. And Justin, apart from being, you know, one of the few people that was specifically targeting catfish from a kayak, he was also, he had studied Buck Perry, and I had studied Buck Perry. And so like we right away, we're talking each other's language. We're like structure, you know, I mean, we're structure fishing mindset, you know, and we approached it from the same mind space, you know? So, and Justin, man, he was sort of low key and good natured and just humble, you know, and just, we had really good conversations where we really talk like, you know, tactics and strategy and stuff. And so he had the video thing going, and I had started putting videos out on my channel, and he was like, hey, how would you feel if we did a competition and, you know, we'll get like 6 different people from different channels. Everybody will have their own channel, and we'll put together some sort of competition, and it will, you know, so that we can cross promote and we can maybe do a little smack talk with each other and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like fun. I'm in. And like from day one, like this alter ego of Justin came out where he was just total trash talking everybody. And I was like, who's this guy? Where did this come from? He's crossing lines and take no prisoners. And so yeah, there was Justin, there was Corey Coates, who has he's got a channel, but he also has the Ultimate Kayak Catfishing Facebook group. There's Frank Frank's from Wisconsin somewhere. He's got Brats and Mustard channel. Frank's got some game too, let me tell you. There was Steve from Adventure Outdoors, who does some saltwater fishing. And Billy from with Fishing with Billy now, that was Panfish, right? And Billy was in for a little while, and Billy got beat up on a little bit, and Billy decided about a couple of videos in, he's like, this is just not for me. So he got beat up a little bit for that, right? But so it was just fun. We were making videos, and the videos turned. I mean, they were this fishing competition, but Justin made the belt, right? Mm-hmm. The deal was he made this belt.
That belt, I actually saw it on the video. It's actually pretty good. It's a nice looking belt.
It's a toy wrestling belt, and he took
it is okay.
He just put a sticker on it that says YouTube.
Oh, because it looked like legit on the video. I don't know if he did that or if it just came off. It looked like it was metal. I was like, wow. It
looks great, right? But it's just a toy plastic belt he spent like $5 on, and put a sticker on it. And we were playing for the belt. So, and I ended up winning. The videos were fun to make because a lot of the intros, we would spend time on the intros doing little skits or little bits, just messing with each other, and that was big fun. In fact, that was where, I don't know where it's at. I've got a I did one. I had a buddy. Oh, I know. I had a buddy who I don't know if you're not gonna be able to see this, are you?
I can see that. Oh yeah, I see that.
I had a buddy who made these. So I took everybody's logo and
put it under the Calvin
and made something to make we took everybody's logo and did something to make fun of it or diss the logo, and then I put them all in the back window of my truck, and then I did this whole bit about, look, we're all really good friends, and no hard feelings, and we don't think that we don't like each other, because we really do. And then I walked off camera, and like the back of my truck,
your truck is right there.
So that kind of stuff was fun to do. So that's the whole fishing thing. And we decided afterwards this was way too much work. We're never doing this again. So, but it was pretty fun. Justin is on his channel now, so
yeah, Justin's doing really good. Justin's always, very informative, everything, and then it comes down to his like yearly. I don't think he's doing it this year, but his yearly garage sale, when he gets all these people like pulling on his last nerve, that's when he goes a little. I enjoy watching that whole fiasco happen. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. He comes off kind of like me. You're a nice guy, but then don't mistake that for something else, which I can definitely admire. And he definitely knows what he's doing down there. So I'd love to go down there fish someday. Did you ever get to fish with him down there?
Yeah. I went down there once and was going to do a follow-up trip, and then some weather happened. I would like to get down there and fish with him again. Yeah, that's a great fishery. That's a cool place to fish down there. Yeah. So I would like to get down. We don't have blue cats here. We're kind of like you. I have to drive 5 hours to fish for blue cats.
Oh, you gotta go further than I do, even.
So it's just far enough that I can't. It's almost got to be two overnights.
It's either exhaustion or it's got to be overnight. Yeah. Same way.
But I'm 5 hours from Milford, and Milford is great. I mean, apart from the fact that Milford can be brutal with the weather. I mean,
how big is that lake?
Huh?
How big is that lake?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it big enough where you get if the weather comes in, you're getting white caps or?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that big.
It can be that's the kind of place that will it's the kind of place that will breach like regular boats. You know, I mean it's not quite like Kentucky Lake, but it's big, and it's when the weather turns there.
It turns.
And a lot of times in the spring, what you're dealing with is you got the wind. The lake runs north to south. The current runs north to south, and then you get a south wind that blows against the current, and it makes. I mean, I'm kind of stupid. To me it gets kind of fun when it starts feeling a little scary. I like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not a place if you're not really comfortable with your paddling, that's not a place for you to get too crazy on your kayak and out from.
I got some friends that kayak fish Lake Michigan, and they're a little on the wild side too. They'll get out there and slay the cohos on the calm days, but they'll go out on some of the rough days. And I've been out at Racine, this time of year where cold water's coming in and the wind comes from the other direction. You got 13, 14-foot waves. I'm like, I don't even fish off the bank when it's but yeah, it gets nuts. I can see how 2-3 foot swells would even keep me off the water on a kayak, definitely. Yeah. But those guys, they keep going. They keep pushing. It's another question I wanted to ask you before. I don't want to keep you too long, but we'll stay as long as you want to. But what are your feelings on powered kayaks?
I don't. I'm not like a purist. I don't care. I mean, okay. I don't. I like paddling, right? Uh-huh. And 9 times out of 10, I'll paddle. Having said that, the idea of having the option to drop a torpedo in on big water, if I'm going down to Lake of the Ozarks or something, you can cut some time. It can help. I've seen Spencer's tried a few different ways to run a trolling motor on the river in current, and it's just a mess in the current because it's fine if you're going upstream, but then when you want to stop and fish, it's like it's got too much drag. It's a pain in the ass. So.
All right, that makes sense because I thought after when he was showing pictures on Instagram at first, I had these visions of him doing circles around you, trying to trying to get you all upset. But, I haven't really seen him do any of that, not that stuff, but I haven't seen him use it too often in his videos. So
he keeps trying. He keeps trying to find a way. And, he'll try it and then he'll think he has it dialed in and he'll be like, no, this is too much work. It's too much work. And, so I got nothing against the guys. I think with the tournament stuff, I can see why that some people are like really against the idea of the motors in tournaments because
it's an advantage to the people who don't have it. I mean, you're going to be able to cover a lot of water.
You're essentially right. I mean, if you're going to run a motor, let's say for a bass tournament, especially, right? I mean, if you're going to run a motor in a kayak, why don't you just enter the boat tournament then? And I think that's sort of the mentality of the guys who don't like the motors in that scene is just that they like the idea that this is theirs and it's not being encroached on by the boat guys, and having kayak guys running motors starts to feel like it, so. Yeah. But I don't. I mean, if you, however you fish, if it makes you happy, that's for you. I don't.
I'm the same way. I don't wish ill upon anybody. I'm not real big on the whole tournament thing. Actually, I've never fished them outside of just like some little local stuff to raise some money for some local charities and stuff. But other than that, I don't have the boat for it, the equipment for it or stuff. So I'm really kind of unfamiliar with all all the on, but.
I'm not a fan of tournament fishing. Not that I am opposed to it, but
exactly.
I don't have a fire for it, right? I do it every once in a while. I I like the sort of the camaraderie of it. I like getting together with some guys as a group sometimes and getting the social part. I like that, and I like doing it once in a while because it does force you to kind of step up your game and your thinking. It creates kind of a mind game that you have to get control of in your own head,
Execute.
which I like that. I like there's a different kind of strategy. What I don't like about it though is that you are very generally or very very frequently um, okay, I got to fish for medium sized fish. I'm just fishing for like basic keeper fish, and then I'm looking for a kicker fish. And I don't like that. I like to swing for the fences. I like to go out and I'm fishing for a big fish from the second I put on the water, and that's tournament fishing is kind of a different thing than that. So
More strategy as to how to go about it. So I can definitely see how that is. Yeah, I'm always swinging for the fences when I go fishing too anyways. So at least hoping I get the chance to swing for the fence.
I've always got one bait in the water that's like, really? You're going to put that?
Yeah. My father.
People will see me and they'll be like, oh, you caught a fish. I'm like, no, that's my bait. That's my bait.
My father will walk into my garage. He'll come over and visit, and he'll see like a 2-pound carp in my bait tank. He'll be like, what the heck are you doing with that thing? I go, I'm going to use it for bait, Dad. He's like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
I got the neighbor kids. They come over all the time, and I let them fish in my bait tank, so they're always looking in there to see what's in there. They always have a blast. So when they saw that one in there and they couldn't get it to bite on something, they were so upset. They're brokenhearted. I just let them go. I wasn't going to let them. Let them have the hope. That was kind of funny. So
yeah, that's cool.
That's something I wish I could have got on video, but I don't feel like getting all the parents' permission and stuff. They're over here all the time now, so their parents are all good with it. So we have fun. I try to get. What's sad though is all these kids, like we were talking about in the neighborhood, they're running around like crazy, like I used to when I was a kid, right? But their parents, for some reason, they always want me to take them fishing. And I'm like, go talk to your parents. Have them come with us. I'll be more than happy to take you guys whenever you want. And they just won't do it. The parents are just as bad, if not worse, than the kids. So I'm trying to figure out a way to maybe next year have something during the free fishing weekend here in Illinois. See if I can't talk a bunch of people into it. Maybe I'll get out and I'll cook like 20 racks of ribs or something. They all seem to like my barbecue.
The parents don't want them to go fishing, or
no, they're too tired. Everybody works like day and night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want the parents to come along, and the parents.
No, I'm not taking their kids without them. I'm not going to do that in this day and age. I want nothing to do with that.
Right.
But I'd be more than happy to take mom and dad. They have no problem coming over for beers when they see me in the garage. Right. Let's go fishing, right?
This is what we do.
What?
I just tell them this is what we do. We just do this on the water.
Exactly. So I'm trying to piece something together next year for that. So that's one of my other goals.
Yeah, that's good to get the kids out on the water. I mean, I totally
get. I know you have a son, right?
I have 2 boys.
2 boys, and how did you get them into fishing, or is that just something that they were always there with you? Or?
No, my oldest boy didn't want anything to do with it. I'd take him fishing, and we'd barely get there. He'd be like, "When are we leaving? Can we go? I saw a snake. When are we leaving?" Right, and so we didn't fish. And then my youngest, he took to it right away. Took him out carp fishing a few times when he was, I don't know,
That's how I started.
And he used to catching 6 to 10 pound carp, and went to a farm pond one day when he was in 2nd grade and caught like a bass that was over 6 pounds, and he's about to throw it back in the water. Everybody's like, no, get the camera. Right? I catch these fish all the time.
Just a small.
Right.
So, yeah, my grandfather started me carp fishing. Like I said, he was, sustenance. He was, long story. He came over here from Poland. He was a merchant marine who had lost his leg in an accident. So he was, handicapped. The family took care of him. So he fished for food, and it was carp and channel cats all the time. He'd eat a drum if he had to, but and he used to babysit me, so he would take me fishing during the day to keep me occupied. So he got me started.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like to hear stories of how people get started because it brings back my own memories. So
Yeah.
it's self-serving, if anything. So, all right, Denny. Well, I know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for the invite, Mark. Mark,
Yes.
how do you pronounce your last name?
I knew that was going to happen.
Right.
I talked to my wife today. I'm like, you know what? I need to make a banner with a phonetical spelling of my last name.
Because I know that there are some silent letters, but I can't figure out which ones they are.
It is psh, bitch. It's like PSHI B psh bish BISH. Psh. Perfect. You got it.
Shibish.
You got it. Shibish.
Well, I think that's probably even harder to say after you've been drinking than tactical kayak angler was.
You ain't kidding. You should see. I'm not even going to mention what my mom's maiden name was. You don't even want to know what that was. That's crazy. Anyway, right, I appreciate your time. I had a blast talking to you tonight. Hopefully, I feel bad because I should have asked if anybody had any questions for you. Maybe we'll do this again next year, and I'll do an Ask Denny Anything if I'm still doing this. We'll see what happens.
Go. So if you got people that have questions, go to the Facebook page and send me questions, or go to one of the videos and send questions. I mean, if I got people asking questions, I'll do a video and answer the questions, or I'll respond. I'm
I have no doubt in that. I just kind of feel guilty because I kind of used up all your time for my own personal reasons. I appreciate it. And again, thank you, Denny. I had a wonderful time talking to you. Hopefully we'll talk again. Are you going to the Catfish conference?
Probably not. Probably not this year. Probably not.
I'll be there. If things change, look me up. We'll say hello.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe we can do something about that. All right, my friend. Have a great night. Everybody else.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Have a great weekend. Tight lines. Everybody in chat, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Go out, get yourself a monster. Have fun. Hope you enjoyed the show, man. Have a good one. God bless.